I'm so excited about my new well. It's a real game changer for my farm here. By the way, I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead. And I want to just share a little testimonial here about Aquadrill. Uh, I was on a waiting list for quite a while and I was nervous about that, but they made it comfortable and they made it help me understand that wells are really in demand. And the backlog is a fact of the matter that they do great work. Now, that's hard to believe up front because I didn't have a well and I'm hauling water around and having to pick up water at another site. By the way, we have goats here and Muscovy ducks, a couple chickens, but we do frequently camp a while on the property. But as you can see, I have the well now. And the key thing about the service was so exciting is that when they said it was my day to get the well, those guys were out here next day. Now, it's been raining and stuff like that, so they parked the truck down at the end of the road and they were in here the next day and they got this well drilled. Now, there's a couple factors that are important about where the well ends up getting located. That's all based on my well permit, which only lasts for 3 years. So again, I was getting pretty nervous, but when they showed up, the well went into place. There's a wellhead under here. They had to go 325 feet down, is about the 5 to 7 gallons per minute flow rate. They did explain a lot about the rock being underground here, and I could see the rock bits coming out as they're drilling. But everything was so smooth and easy. The guys got in, they did what they needed to do. They didn't tear the place all up. You can see right here, they got it in place. Now I'm gonna rake this out a bit, and we're gonna end up putting a little bit of gravel around it, a little gravel stand. But I got my hydrant, and as soon as the power is hooked up, I'm going to be the happiest person in the world. Now, what they do is they get the installation done, and I had them go ahead and do the wellhead. I had thought about doing it myself at first, but when I saw the work that's necessary to do this the right way, I'm so happy I didn't try to DIY this. And in fact, it was so reasonable, the material cost, because I'm looking on my phone. We got all these phones these days. I paid less to have it installed than I would have had to go into the different places to get the pipes and the tank and the pump and all that other stuff. They really saved me a lot of time, money, and effort. But I'm going to clean it up a little bit. This is when it's done. It's not messy. I'm going to throw some grass seed down and things like that, but they do need some space to get in. And I gave them plenty of space. The flag's right behind that. They were able to get in with their equipment and get that installed. And then the next day, now it's not always the next day because again, they're very busy. The guys who did the pump side, so first they're gonna drill a hole. The guys who did the pump side did 3 installs before they got to me, all the way out to Danville and other places. Now, the waiting list issue I want to address. I did feel frustrated. I was worried. I asked around the people because I've been on this waiting list for a while. And they had communicated why this is like that, but I was still nervous because when you have a piece of property with no water on it, it is a frustration. Now, I saw them put in a couple wells at a couple of farms nearby. I was delighted with the work that they did over there, and then of course, it's beautifully done. We're gonna so one of the reasons we didn't bury the wire right away is because for this particular site, we're gonna trench more hydrants and pipes. So I got this in. Now the expensive part comes. This was nothing compared to running the irrigation pipes, and this is a particular an agricultural well, but we're going to run irrigation down through the edge of the property line there, and then run some irrigation up the hill. So again, I'm Justin Hitt. I know this is kind of just off the cuff, but Billy Clayton over at Aquadrill, they have modern equipment. The guys who came out on site communicated well about what to expect, what needs to be done. They put the truck came down and they put the parking brake on it, and the guy was already off of it with the excavator getting the trench done for this pipe. And I would have had to rent an excavator. I would have had to go buy all the equipment and then figure out how to put it all together. They came in and a couple hours got that done, and I consider it an investment in the property. Having a good well on your property, and again, I looked it up for the rock that's underneath here, and you can kind of see that rock in the soil there. 5 gallons per minute is incredible. Now, your well could be more. It just depends on what's underground, and it depends on what's going on. But if you want to contact Billy Clayton about your well, call 336 399 0435. And I have his card right here, though, because I want to make sure you have the phone number, because yeah, you're going to get put on a waiting list. They have some options available when it comes to the waiting list, but that's, again, because they're so heavily in demand. It's my understanding that his father and his grandfather were in the business, and it's a family-owned business. I'm here in Horse Pasture, Virginia, but they're licensed for North Carolina and Virginia, and this is the third or fourth well I've seen them put in. And, I was skeptical when I was waiting. Trust me. I don't know how to convey that clearly, but I was skeptical when I was waiting. But again, well worth the wait, because I got plenty of water now for the goats. I can expand my goat operation. I can expand water for different aspects of this particular property, including easier clean the water for the ducks. I don't have to haul water everywhere. And if you have any questions specifically for me, because again, I have the newsletter, and I have, we talk about permaculture, we talk about property design. Why is the well here versus someplace else? Did I witch it? Did I have somebody come out here and tell me where the water is? Again, if you have questions about that, put it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experience with Aqua-Drill or any other well company. Any frustrations you've had, because maybe you're on a waiting list. Maybe you're 6 months in, maybe you're 12 months in. And again, a lot of times these waiting lists are because of the logistics required. We had rain delays. We had, the equipment was in another location. But again, they really were on the ball for getting this thing taken care of. And the install was one day for the well to get dug, and then the next day for the cap to come in, for the equipment to come in. So again, that's Billy Clayton, 336-399-0435. In the comments below, or in the description below, I'll put a link to their website. But again, the sooner you get on the list, because real secret here, when I called around a bunch of folks, I waited almost 6 months to get on the list. So you got to get on the list. And again, they have some options available that are going to help you better understand what's going on as far as your well. But the guys are literally out all across the region installing hundreds of these things a month, because again, with droughts and water scarcity and all the issues, a good solid well on agricultural land, on your new home site, on your farm or homestead, is all the difference in the world. I'm Justin Hitt with Prosperity Homestead, www.prosperityhomestead.org, where we help you get your small farm or homestead up and running at break even or better. We match you with vendors many times. We work with folks that I would work with, but also we want to make sure that it's an investment. I'm putting 5 figures into a well, and you can ask those questions on the bottom, how much it's going to cost, that kind of thing. But every well is different, because this is 325 feet. Anyway, I'm rambling. I just want to make sure you know how happy I am. Am I giddy? I want to make sure you know how happy I am with Billy Clayton. A well is a once in a lifetime thing for a lot of people. For an agricultural property, you might end up with 2 of them, depending on how many acres you've got. Lifetime on the well, the hole in the ground, and 5 years on the equipment. So I don't know what else there is to say, but I'll answer your questions in the comments below. Again, www.prosperityhomestead.org if you're interested in our newsletter, and where we can talk about why the well is here and why we're designing things a certain way. Or you can ask questions in the comments below about what do you need to know when you're working with a well company. All right, thanks for watching. Again, I'm Justin Hitt. See you in the next episode.